All right, in this video, we're going to be looking at order Gymnophiona or Caecilians. Caecilians are legless amphibians. There are 200 species of Caecilians. Again, they resemble worms, but they're not worms because remember, worms are invertebrates. If you pick up a worm, you're not going to feel a backbone. If you pick up one of these guys, it's going to have a backbone in it. They can be up to 1.5 meters in length, so that's pretty long. Skin is usually smooth, usually dark because they live in the forest floor, typically found in tropic regions. They have those rings or those annuli, one of their characteristics. Skin has a lot of toxin glands. Some of them have scales like fish, which is exactly what you would expect. Little to no vision in them because they're mostly burrowers. They have the characteristics of like a sock puppet filled with mud, as you can see here in this particular picture. There's the annuli. Annuli just means years, and so this has to do with their just growth, kind of like growth rings. I don't think you can count them as like 1 year, 2 year, but they do have that kind of thing. Here's one that has scales more like a fish, and whereas this is more of a smooth skinned Sicilian, and they are burrowers, as you can see here. This someone has adopted some Sicilians as pets and has made a nice little aquarium for them. They have a really strong skull with a pointed snout, and the mouth is recessed underneath their head, which you kind of see here. Here shows their skull. Because this allows them to burrow, to kind of push their way through into the ground. Lots of strong muscles associated with their neck as well. Mostly aquatic, and so they do live in the ground, but also they're obviously as amphibians they're tied to water, and so they're found mostly in very moist tropical areas in the world. Most of them are predators, as you can tell by their teeth. So they don't look like predators, but there's a look at that guy on the right. I mean, he'll just straight up gnaw somebody's like pinky finger off, and it shows the teeth there on the left. So these are predators. Some of them are scavengers, and so they're going to eat just whatever they find. One interesting thing about the larva, and we'll watch a video of this in class, but the larva will actually eat the skin off of the mother, and so the mother kind of sheds that outer layer of skin, and this gives them some nutrition. This is part of their kind of their life cycle, actually. As far as taxonomy, there are two historic names for them. Apoda is one of them. Apoda just means no feet, or Gymnophiona, which I'm not sure what Gymnophiona means. It just sounds fun. These have typically a more sparse fossil record, so not a lot of them formed, which probably means that they're more recent in the in evolutionary time period, and they evolved from tetrapods. And so what we're not seeing here is a species that never had legs. It's a species that used to have legs and now doesn't. That's the same thing with snakes. Snakes are still considered tetrapods, even though they don't have legs, and these guys are still considered tetrapods, even though they don't have legs, because they evolved from ancestral tetrapods, and that's an important distinction to make.